In terms of muscle cars, the 1970 Dodge Challenger is one of the best. It was a challenge to Ford's Mustang and Chevrolet's Camaro. Dodge nailed it with this mid-sized muscle vehicle. This tough-looking automobile commands attention with its sculpted exterior. In addition, this formidable Challenger can be had with the famed Hemi V8s. The 1970 Dodge Challenger was not very popular when it was first released, but now it's a sought-after collector's item. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a vehicle that gave Mustang and Camaro a run for their money. The 1970 Dodge Challenger 426 Hemi. Although the Dodge Challenger was the last of Detroit's big three-pony cars to arrive, it came with something its rivals lacked: the industry's widest range of powertrain options, from the modest but dependable 225 cubic inch slant 6 to the frightening elephant motor, the 426 Hemi. Despite the fact that it only lasted 5 model years, the Dodge Challenger has become one of the most renowned muscle cars named in automotive history, with expertly restored and rare versions fetching six-figure sums today. The Dodge Challenger made its debut as a 1970 model in the fall of 1969, while the third-generation Plymouth Barracuda shared Chrysler's E-body short-deck long hood architecture. The Dodge Challenger wheelbase was 2 inches longer, allowing for more internal room. The 1970 Challenger RT was featured in the film Vanishing Point, a high-speed chase film that has become a cult classic among muscle car lovers. In 1997, the film was remade for television. Other 1970 Dodge Challengers have appeared in movies such as Used Cars, Natural Born Killers, and Phantasm 1 and 2, as well as in television shows such as Mod Squad. The Challenger also had some racing success in the Trans-America Championship. Despite the positive publicity, the first Dodge Challenger arrived late in the pony car party and did not sell as well as Dodge had intended. Furthermore, future pollution rules would limit the first-generation Challenger's lifespan to only 4 years. The total number of early Challengers produced was only 165,437. When Ford launched the Mustang, Americans couldn't get enough of the powerful, nimble, and affordable car. In 1965, Ford had produced over 500,000 Mustangs, and the pony car market was exploding. General Motors invested all of its resources in a Mustang revival. With its quickly developed and launched Camaro, GM was second to enter the market. Chevrolet launched its new car in a PR blitz in September 1966 and was so successful that it had to produce over 220,000 1967 Camaros to keep up with demand. With all these, Dodge's Mopar parent firm was obviously eager to get a piece of this new market. However, they had a huge problem. The Dodge V8, with its hemispherical combustion chambers, was the engine of choice for drag racers and hot rod builders. This engine was too huge and heavy to fit into a pony car. The revolutionary Barracuda, based on the tiny Mopar A-body platform, was introduced by Mopar's Plymouth subsidiary, and the nimble and elegant Plymouth was doing well in pony car sales. But the engineers at Plymouth were frustrated because they couldn't get the car to perform effectively with a Mopar big block V8. Dodge intended to build a pony car, but they were advised not to compete with the Barracuda. The Dodge Charger B-body was Mopar's initial attempt to respond to the cheap muscle trend. The pioneering midsize car's exterior was designed by Dodge designer Carl Cam Cameron. The first-generation Charger was a large two-door sedan with plenty of luxury features and plenty of straight-line power. It was also more expensive than its supposedly pony car competitors. The Charger blew it when it came to pony cars. Only 53,000 units were constructed before the significant 1968 model year makeover, which saw sales decline drastically. Then, Dodge and Plymouth began working together on a new mid-size chassis in the late 1960s. Their goal was to build the tiniest car possible that could handle a big block Hemi V8. Their collaboration resulted in the iconic 1970 third-generation Plymouth Barracuda and a brand-new 1970 Dodge. They incorporated elements from the A-body design of the second-generation Barracuda and the B-body design of the Charger. The engineers decided to employ the firewall and dash from a 1970 B-body, which determined the height of the windshield and door seams. Then they decreased the wheelbase. Dodge went with 110 inches, while Plymouth went with 108 inches. Cameron produced an aggressive, iconic appearance for the 1970 Challenger after deciding on the primary design principles. Dodge offered an extraordinary variety of customization options for the 1970 Challenger when it first launched. The Challenger was available in two versions, a base model or a high-performance road track model. The hardtop coupe, two-door convertible, and special edition SE coupe were among the body variants available. The slant 6 engine was standard on base model Chargers. The 318 V8 with a 2-barrel carburetor was the base engine for either RT or SE versions. The 340 V8, 383 V8, famous 440 Magnum V8, and iconic 426 Hemi engines were also available as options. The 440 Hemi featured a massive engine with wedge-shaped combustion chambers but only 335 horsepower and poor compression. The 426 Hemi was originally designed as a homologation engine for Dodge's NASCAR teams, with high compression and hemispherical combustion chambers. The 426 was capable of producing 425 horsepower. Dodge's 3-speed manual powertrain was standard, while the Torque Fleet automatic transmission was available as an option. A 4-speed manual transmission was also available with the bigger V8s. A rally instrument cluster was included with the road, track, or RT option, which included an oil pressure gauge, 8,000 RPM tach, and a speedometer that could reach 150 miles per hour. Carburetor systems like the 6-pack and air intakes, like the shaker hood, were available for RT Challengers. The Challenger SE was designed to compete with Mercury's Cougar, which was marketed as a luxury Mustang. The SE model included a vinyl roof, leather and vinyl bucket seats, and a smaller rear window. It was decorated with SE medallions and an overhead console with door ajar, seatbelt, and low fuel indicators. Dodge had to offer its race-ready drivetrain in a Trans Am homologation car in order to compete with the Trans America Championship. The Challenger TA was the street version of the racer, with a 340 V8 engine fed by an aluminum manifold and 3 2-barrel carburetors, all housed beneath a massive snorkel-style air scoop. Hurst pistol grip shifters were standard on TA Challengers. Different front and rear tire sizes were also included on the TA, which was unusual at the time. All performance Challengers had front disc brakes as an option, but the TA had them as standard. At auctions, several one-of-a-kind Challengers have fetched record prices. Muscle cars were regarded as good project cars in the early 2000s, but terrible choices for collectors. Then, a 4-speed Plymouth Hemi Cuda convertible went up for auction, one of just 2 made and the only one with its original engine. It was also the first muscle vehicle to sell for more than $1 million. That vehicle was sold for $3.5 million, again in 2014. Following the sale of the headline-grabbing Cuda, the value of its rare Challenger cousins began to rise as well. A unique Challenger was even introduced into the National Historic Vehicle Register. Finally, Dodge introduced a new retro-style Challenger in 2008. The new car's marketing and popularity drove up the price of the few surviving first-generation Challengers. Many individuals now want an eye-catching Challenger after these high-profile collectible e-body sales. Immaculate 1970 Challengers in high trim levels continue to show up at exotic car dealerships and attract 6-figure prices. Nobody can disagree that the 1970 Dodge Challenger is a classic car today. Unfortunately, because there are so few of them, most car costs are rising to meet the growing demand. Classic.com keeps track of the auction prices for models. The most expensive 1970 Dodge Challenger to sell at auction in the last 5 years was $1.4 million, while the cheapest was $15,950. The average cost of a 1970 Challenger is $86,805. The 1970 Dodge Challenger is the ideal midsize automobile for displaying the Hemi engine. It's encouraging to see the Challenger gain more acclaim each year. However, it's not so good that the remaining first-generation cars are so costly. What do you think about this vintage car? Let us know down in the comment section.